Good afternoon, this is your 28storms.com update for Sunday, November 13th. The good news is that there really isn't all that much to talk about in the tropics this afternoon. We do see the stalled out frontal boundary over much of the western Atlantic, and there is some convection associated with it, but nothing is really organized because of the horrendous amount of wind shear over much of the basin. If there is any place that is even remotely conducive, it's over the extreme southwest Caribbean and into the far eastern Pacific. If we turn on the infrared really quickly, you will notice that the convection is a little bit more prominent here just to the east of Honduras and Nicaragua, but this whole amount of activity is beginning to continue moving westward, and it will soon be in the eastern Pacific. And if we look really closely at the water vapor, you will notice that there are some indications of mid to upper level ridging present over much of the Gulf of Mexico and the southeast United States, and that is going to shield this area somewhat from the strong to significant mid-latitude systems that often brings a lot of wind shear along with them. You can make this out even better on the latest SIMS wind shear analysis. We can see that the jet is riding up and over that ridge currently located over the Gulf of Mexico, and to the south of that area of upper level ridging we do have a little small pocket that is being shielded, and the wind shear values are generally less than 10 knots, which is favorable for tropical cyclone development. So we see that the winds are just a little bit stronger here over the western Caribbean, but this system may have a slightly better chance as it continues to move more toward the west underneath the ridge. This is the 12Z run of the GFS model, and a couple of days ago we were looking into the medium range for the potential for another subtropical development in the central Atlantic, but the models have since backed off on that idea, and instead the models are beginning to key more so on the potential for development out into the eastern Pacific as we go into days 4 through 7, and again, part of that is the system coming across over Central America at this time. The CMC model has also backed off on the idea of subtropical development in the central Atlantic, although it still has a very broad area of low pressure just to the north of Puerto Rico by day 6, but the more interesting looking system is again in the eastern Pacific located just to the south of the Gulf of Tehuantepec. Much like its operational model counterparts, the 12Z run of the ECMWF is not showing a whole lot of action in the Atlantic Basin, but by 48 and especially 72 hours we do see the presence of a very weak surface low associated with that tropical wave. It's down to 1009 millibars, and by day 4 and day 5 it's continuing to move westward, which is a good bit of news because even if it were to develop, it looks like it's going to stay well to the south of Mexico, at least for the next 6 to 7 days. So the tropics should remain calm for at least the next 72 hours. If anything is going to happen beyond that period, it will more than likely occur in the Pacific, but anything should stay to the south of Mexico. At least that's our current thinking for now, but we'll keep up with it here at 28storms.com. We will have another video update by tomorrow afternoon.